What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. Whew, I've woke up feeling extra spicy today, and I can honestly say this is from the continued support from you guys. The way you treat me is absolutely amazing, and I'm so thankful for you. But today on YouTube we had 6 new members. What the bloody hell are you guys doing? Oh god, tearing up already, and it's only bloody 9 o'clock in the morning. Gee whiz. We had Katie Rossiter, William, Luna the Beast 1966, Cassandra Delgado, Patricia Sutton, and Francesca Loca. Thank you so much for your support. I can't... Oh god. Thank you so much. It really does mean the world to me. And, you know, to everyone for coming here, taking the time out of your day to be here is absolutely amazing. And with me waffling on for too long already, let's crack on with today's stories. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, and much love, of course. Now, our first story comes from Nan's Treasure. Am I the arsehole for refusing to forgive my parents over something they lied about over 10 years ago? When I was a young girl, I used to spend a lot of time with my nan. She had a big collection of jewellery that I would beg to see. So each time I came over, we would sit down at her vanity and she would show me each piece. There was one bracelet that stood out to me. It was gold with red stones on it, and I used to believe that my nan had to be a magical queen because a bracelet like that would obviously contain powers. She died when I was 8 years old. My mother brought back her jewellery box and I pleaded to keep that bracelet. Neither parent thought it'd be worth more than its weight because a lot of her jewellery was cheap accessories, so they let me keep it. Fast forward a couple of years, my mum and dad went to a wedding of my mum's cousins, where her aunt gave her a photo book with old family pictures of my nan as a girl with her family. In one of the pictures is my great nana when she was 20s wearing that bracelet, which spiked their interest, so they went and got it looked at. Turns out it was pricey. They never told me the amount. They sat me down when they got back and said because it was worth so much it was too risky for me to wear, and promised when I was an adult I can have it back. I got one last look at it and it was gone. Obviously I was very sad, but I never forgotten. I asked when I was 18 and they told me to wait until I am 21. I asked them last week and they finally admitted they sold it that same week I last saw it. But they said the money went on our trip to Disney World. That bracelet is one of my only memories I have with my nan, and it is gone. I don't want to forgive them. Would that make me the arsehole? So that bracelet must have been worth some money. If it paid for a trip to Disney World. I know Disney World is not a bloody cheap place. That's an awfully expensive place. But for them to lie to you as a little girl and tell you that you will get it later on in life is one thing. But then when you're 18 and you remembered it and then you asked for it again, and then they said wait 3 more years and then you can have it. That is appalling. They're lying to you as an adult, and I can understand why you can't forgive them for that. And that level of betrayal is likely lost that bracelet for good now. You're probably never going to get that back, which is absolutely heartbreaking, seeing as it's something you were so attached to and the memories with your nan. Wow. Let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Android says, not the arsehole. What they've done is absolutely appalling. It's a bit early to say you'll never forgive them. Never is a long time, but it's reasonable and understandable that you would be upset. You should take whatever time you need to grieve over this loss of connection. OP replies saying, I know never is a long time, but I just feel this is one of those things I will never get over, you know. Thanks for your input. Hannah's Flora says, not the arsehole. They took it from you for the sole purpose of selling it. No doubt they assume/hope you'd forget about it by the time you were 18. And when you asked them at 18, they still didn't come clean. It doesn't matter that the money went towards a trip to Disney World. That bracelet wasn't theirs to sell. I'm sorry that happened. Schlump says, selling a family heirloom for a trip to Disney World. This has to be one of the most consumerist, sorry for assuming, thing I've ever read. Candyland Canada says, not the arsehole. The initial lie was bad enough, but telling an adult 18 that she has to wait 3 years when they knew full well it would never happen is unforgivable. You can still have a relationship with them if you can accept their deception and lies on this one issue. And Bollywood fan says, not the arsehole. If you have a photo of the bracelet, a jeweler can make a nice copy for you. It wouldn't be the same, but you could wear it and think of your grandmother. And a part locksmith says, well, I'd never forgive them personally. However, you need to decide whether you can park the resentment and have a future relationship with them. Do you want them in your life? If you have kids, would you be happy for them to have a relationship with them? Is the bracelet worth sacrificing your relationship with your parents? You can make it clear to them that you hate their actions and betrayal, yet you can put it aside for the sake of future dealings. Obviously you don't go back to being as close and as trusting as you once were. Trust once broken is irreparable. Now, what would you do in this situation if you was OP and your family sold an heirloom behind your back with the promise that you would have got it in the future? Let me know what you would do in that situation in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. And our next story is from Throwaway Idiot. Am I the arsehole for causing my girlfriend's friend to have a severe allergic reaction? Please read before answering. 2 days ago, my 29 male girlfriend 24 female came over my place and her friend 24 female tagged along. We just had a heat wave, so my girlfriend and I were in the pool. Her friend wasn't. I'm a little bit of a jokester and I thought it'd be funny to push her friend into the pool. As soon as I did this, both of them started freaking out. I was pretty confused and my girlfriend helped her friend out. This is when things went to hell. Her friend started developing hives and my girlfriend was yelling at me to call an ambulance because she's having an allergic reaction. I was still confused, but I called 000. This is when my girlfriend informed me that her friend had cold urticaria, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, an allergy to cold, and is reacting to the cold water. I didn't even know that was a thing. Everything happened so fast, her friend started complaining about being dizzy and having shortness of breath. Thankfully the paramedics showed up, injected an EpiPen and took her to hospital. She is fine now. Just to be clear, I had no idea about her friend's allergy, but my girlfriend is mad at me because I shouldn't be pushing people into pools anyway, and she's making me feel even more guilty by calling me a jerk, etc. Am I the arsehole? Jokester or not, your girlfriend is totally right. If someone's totally dry, that just means they don't want to get in the pool, and so you pushing them in there is an arsehole move. Why would you do that? As like a prank. Even if she didn't have this allergy, you'd still be an arsehole because it's just an arsehole thing to do. It's just a bloody rude thing to do. But let's have a look at some of the comments to see what they say. Oh dear, it's Richard says, you're the arsehole and shouldn't be pushing people into pools anyway. Other people's distress is not entertainment. Music with Roxanne says, you're the arsehole. If someone is dry and does not intend to get into the pool, you're a big arsehole for pushing them in. Yes, with certain friends that you are close to and everyone is getting in and out of the pool, pushing someone already wet is acceptable, again depending on the group and closeness, but getting someone wet who is intended to stay dry is a big jerk move. Did you even bother to ask her or care why she wasn't getting into the pool? There are also people who have had bad reactions to chlorine, who've had wounds or skin conditions that can't be in chlorinated water, even an inability to swim or fear of water. Don't go messing with people you don't know. And Honey Majesty says, you're the arsehole, don't push people into pools. She could have been hurt even if she wasn't allergic. If you can't make jokes without it being at someone else's expense, it means you're not funny. Formless Mint says, you're the arsehole. Why are you pranking people by pushing them into pools? I agree with girlfriend, even though you didn't know she has an allergy, you shouldn't push people into pools. Now, I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? What do you think of OP? Clearly they got to be the arsehole in this situation, right? I'd be very interested if someone says otherwise. Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from Zealous Ideal Kick. Am I the arsehole for yelling at my brother for cheating while he was finally accepting his sexuality? My brother, male 30, and me, 38 male, grew up in a very religious household. My father was all about good Christian family values, and yet, ironically, he cheated on my mum all the time, and he expected for us to accept it. I hated his guts, but my brother always tried to please him, to have his approval. When he was a teen, we shared a desktop computer, and he sometimes forgot to delete his browser history. I noticed he went to many gay support sites, so I thought he might be into guys. I never asked because A, it was his choice to tell me when he was ready, and B, I didn't care. He was my brother and I love him. I understood why he'd want to keep it quiet though. If he came out when we were living with our father, he knew shit would hit the fan. Years passed and he didn't come out, even after losing contact with our dad. I thought that maybe he was just exploring his sexuality back then, or he was bi or whatever because he got a girlfriend and married her 5 years ago. This girl, let's call her Julie, is an angel. She got along with everyone and she became fast friends with my wife, who sees her as her little sister of sorts. I owe her a lot because she was instrumental into making my wife accept she needed help after going through a terrible postpartum depression. Fast forward to this week, Julie calls us sobbing and tells us my brother is cheating on her and that his lover is a male friend from his work. This had been going on since 3 years ago or so. I went ballistic and I called him. I told him he was going to do the same thing to Julie as our father did to our mum. My brother then tells me he was struggling with accepting he was gay all this time and that I should be more understanding. He accused me then I was so mad because he was gay and implied I was low-key discriminating him. I told him that cheating is cheating and that Julie doesn't deserve this. We haven't talked in days and I'm starting to feel guilty. Maybe I should have been more tactful. I don't know, I just feel that cheating doesn't deserve a free pass at all. People in Reddit, am I the arsehole? Now there is a small update to this post as well, but we'll move straight to the comments to see what they say on this one. Facepalmer Wall says, not the arsehole. My uncle did this to my aunt. Once they separated, he moved his boyfriend into the house they were sharing because my uncle's spending had made them land rich and money poor. My uncle is an arsehole. Not because he's gay, but because he cheated on his wife for years instead of filing for a divorce and expected everyone to be cool with it because he was finally embracing his sexuality. My username is this. Not the arsehole. It's not about who he cheated with or what gender he's into. It's about being unfaithful to his wife. My Redditor name says, not the arsehole. Cheating is cheating no matter your justification. You didn't get upset because he was gay. You got upset because his wife called you crying that she'd been cheated on. If he needed to explore his sexuality, fine, it happens. There are a lot of men who get married either denying or not realising they're actually gay. But he needed to end his current relationship before starting a new one. And 3 years, that's extremely long time to be exploring. Your brother is definitely the arsehole. Gavinator 4002 says, not the arsehole. As you said, cheating is cheating. Mother of Nugget says, not the arsehole. Your brother is, gay or not, dealing with his own struggle, doesn't give him any right to harm Julie in that way. Now I turn it to you guys. What do you think OP should do in this situation? Do you think OP should apologise and should have been more tactful, or do you think they was totally right in what they said? Now let's read the update section. Update. I sent him a lengthy email talking about how I suspect he was gay all this time and that I was sorry he felt he couldn't trust me. I explained to him that I didn't care about his sexual orientation and that if I was mad, it's because he cheated, nothing else. I told him I thought that his behaviour towards Julie was reprehensible, not his preferences. I said he needed to apologise and be responsible of his actions. Maybe go to counselling with her so she could get closure. I don't know. Whatever he can do some good to her, it will be the right thing to do at this point. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Do you think OP should have been more tactful, or do you think they were just totally right in what they said? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 3. And our next story is from Throw Bean Away. Am I the arsehole for having my partner over even though she makes my roommate uncomfy? I, 30 male, cis lesbian, own my house. I've been dating my girlfriend for almost a year and she's planning on moving in when we've reached 2 years if things are going well. She's an amazing person and I love her so very much. The issue is that one of my friends, 32 female, trans lesbian, wants to buy her own house and asked if she could use my guest room for a year to save up for the down payment. I agreed. She split the utilities but doesn't pay rent. I've known my friend since college and was happy to help. She's been with me for about 6 months and recently came to me to say that she was uncomfy with me having my girlfriend over. I asked her if she had done something wrong or had said something transphobic and my roommate said no. My girlfriend has been incredibly supportive, according to my roommate, even gifting her some expensive makeup. I asked her why she was uncomfy and my roommate said she didn't have a reason and just asked she didn't come over anymore. I asked my girlfriend if she could think of anything that might cause this and she said no. So I went back to my roommate and said no, unless there was a specific reason why she suddenly didn't want my girlfriend around, it was my house and I would have her over. A vague feeling wasn't enough of a reason to ban her for 6 months. My roommate got incredibly upset, started crying and ran off to her room. She's now gone back and forward between yelling at me and crying, and I'm wondering if I'm the arsehole here. Now, there is an update to this story where we find out what is really going on in the background, but let's have a look at some of the comments first to see what the initial thoughts are, because usually they come before the update. So, BB Yacht says, not the arsehole. Sorry if I'm way off the mark, but since by your roommate's own admission your girlfriend did nothing wrong, I can't help but wonder, could it be that your roommate has feelings for you? And that is the feeling that I had going through this. Foreskin King says, what great name, if I had money to bet, I would bet you $10 million that your roommate has a bit of a crush with you. Not the arsehole. If she can't give you a good reason, then your girlfriend should continue coming over. And since Elvis says not the arsehole and quotes, my roommate said she didn't have a reason, and then says, I'm angry that we're even discussing this level of nonsense. And Snickety Snackety says, not the arsehole, you asked your friend why they were uncomfortable and no response was provided, so it isn't like you ignored their feelings. Also, it sounds like you were dating your girlfriend before your friend moved in, so they should have assumed that your girlfriend would be regularly over at your place. I'm a little confused to why your friend would state that without providing a justification. And there's pretty much the same flow of posts that come after that about why would they do this, because we have no reason why. But let's go to the update to clear things up, shall we? Update. So it's been a long day, lol. I've been reading everything said here and a lot of you are right on the money. I finally got my roommate to calm down, got some ice cream delivered, and we had a good long talk. She's apparently been in love with me since college and thought she had moved on since I only love her as a friend/sister. But living together has only made the feelings come back. She wasn't planning on telling me, but my walls are apparently thinner than I thought, which, oh boy, I hate to know that now. So hearing and seeing me with my girlfriend later has been hard. While she's been on hormones for a while, apparently her doctor recently changed something so her emotions are all out of whack. Her horrible, and I do mean horrible, cousin just got engaged, which had made her upset that she's never had a relationship when someone acts like her cousin does. Adding body issues since my girlfriend and I wear tank tops and shorts to sleep in, which she feels like she can't do and has been building a storm that I guess just cracked. We laughed, we cried, we ate too many sweets and eventually called my girlfriend to come over so the two of them could have their own private chat, which had its own round of laughing, crying and eventually coming to an understanding. She's going to talk to her doctor about her meds and I'm going to help her find a therapist since I had such great luck finding my own and she hasn't gone to one in a long while. She's apologised for her behaviour. My girlfriend will still be coming over, but I'm now self-conscious about the thinner walls, so my roommate won't be hearing anything she shouldn't. We'll see how things look in a month or two. Hopefully it'll be okay, since I have PMI on my mortgage and it sucks, and I would love for her not to have that. But she's saved up enough for a small down payment, and PMI wouldn't kill her budget, so if she has to buy early she can. We all basically ended up getting pizza and watching bad horror movies all night, which will suck for work today, but overall a good end to things. Thank you all for your support and the rewards and everything. And I'm also sorry for using uncomfy. I was worried about the character limits. So it did come down to in the end that, that person was just in love with OP. But now I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. And our next story is from Unfair Christmas. Am I the arsehole over a Christmas gifts? I feel selfish for being bothered by this, but I can't help it and I wanted an outside opinion. I, 17 male, live with my father and stepmother. My mother died 5 years ago. The holidays are always kind of rough, but I really hate Christmas because I spend it watching my stepmother and father spoil the shit out of our kids, 20 and 22, and I get nothing. I know no one is owed a gift, but they demand my presence and I don't particularly enjoy watching my stepbrothers get multiple gifts while I sit there watching, and it's just a hard pill to swallow at 12. My dad just shrugs it off because, well, she does the shopping. This year I bought myself a few things I wanted over time. My stepmother saw me wrapping some gifts and asked who they were for. I said myself so I could have some gifts on Christmas too this year. Well, apparently that made her feel bad and she complained to my dad that I was being rude and ungrateful for everything she's done by doing this. My dad asked why I was upsetting my stepmother. I said if she's upset it's only because she knows it's crappy that she buys for her kids knowing you won't shop for me and purposely exclude me, and now she's complaining that I've done something for myself and it makes her look bad. He said I hurt her feelings and I got irritated and asked why I should care. She certainly doesn't care about hurting my feelings. My dad said I was being a brat and I said he was being a bad father by allowing this to continue for all these years, knowing how I felt about it. We aren't speaking currently. My grandmother says I didn't do anything wrong and that what I said was true, but I do feel bad for upsetting them. So, am I the arsehole? My first thought is, can't you just move in with your grandparents? They sound like awesome people to be backing you up straight away. Why is your dad enabling this behaviour? We always see this where one partner is always enabling the other's behaviour like this. How is that right to treat the other children differently and then, what are they, 20? They was 20 and 22 and you're 17, so you're the youngest out of them too. Wow, so I can't see the arsehole in this situation. Your dad is probably the biggest arsehole in this for enabling the behaviour to begin with. But Teresage says, not the arsehole, the truth hurts. Can you move out and live with your grandparents? My thoughts exactly. And Miley30 says, your dad is just plain awful. Yes, your stepmother isn't being kind by spoiling their kids and making you watch, but your dad is totally fine with this and apparently more worried that you upset her if you complain. It's his job to protect you and care for you, and it's no excuse that he isn't the one that does the shopping. Not the arsehole, be direct with your dad and say, Dad, it doesn't matter who does the shopping, you're my dad and you're sitting by watching this happen. You know it hurts me, it's your job to make this right, not my job to swallow it. And BBVY says, not the arsehole, your grandmother is right, you shouldn't feel bad for what you said. Well done for standing up for yourself. Your dad is being a terrible father. He should either insist your stepmother buys all the kids in the household gifts, or he should buy you something himself. Your stepmother is being a terrible person for not getting you anything. That's awful behaviour from them both. Can you spend Christmas with other relatives, or maybe a friend? I know that's hard this year. You deserve to be around people who behave in ways consistent with caring about you, especially for the holidays. Also at 18 you can sign up for Reddit's Secret Santa and hopefully get an awesome gift from someone here next year. Wow, I didn't know that was a thing. But what do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below how you would deal with it, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 5. Once again guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you did enjoy today's stories, and maybe we might hit 50k today, and if we do, a massive thank you to each and every one of you for doing so. It's because of you I'm here doing this, and don't forget that, so thank you so much. And don't forget you can also support the channel either through Patreon, which the link is down in the description, or click that join button below to join the YouTube membership. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care guys. Much love.